So let's sit up tall. Immediately being conscious of your spine, the sacred part of your body that carries the life force through the Sushumna. The prana is carried by the nadis, these energy channels that then take the energy to the 72 meridian points throughout the body. So we'll quickly review our 5 elements: breath, connecting to your breath throughout your practice. Remember, you're marrying breath to movement in a seamless meditation of being mindful while you're moving. Scan your body for emotion. This 36th week, this 252nd day since the COVID shutdown. People are still contracting the virus, still having trouble breathing. And when we started this so many weeks ago, we really tried to breathe for those who could not breathe. It's still happening in greater numbers than ever before. Be aware of your body. Breathe into any restriction or constriction you might be feeling. Any sounds that are in your space, whether in this virtual space or whether you're listening to this recording at a future date. Whatever sounds are in your room, in your space, just make them part of your practice. What we resist persists. So it's a good indication to just make whatever's around you, just invite it in. And finally, the ever-present thought. You get the next 70 minutes to live with your thoughts, be conscious of your thoughts. What am I thinking? Do my thoughts have a pattern? Or are they just random to-do lists? What I want to do later today, or what happened yesterday, or a fearful thought about the future, or a judging thought about something that happened in the past. Just look at the thoughts, observe them. So we'll open with the Adi Mantra, the Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. I'm honoring that creative spark inside of me. The second time I chant it, I'm honoring it in all of you. And the third time we chant it, it's for the greater world. It's just a bookend for the practice. It opens up our practice. So bring the hands to prayer. Anjali Mudra, 3 big inhale exhales. Adi Mantra. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Then open your eyes, come onto all fours. We'll do a little warm up before we begin this Kriya, which begins in a low lunge. So we're going to wake up the spine before we move into that low lunge with a few cat-cows. Inhaling as the chin comes forward and the belly drops. Exhaling as we round the spine, chin coming to the chest. That jugular notch between the clavicles, the collarbones. And come back to all fours. Take that right foot back, curl the toes under. It's a great stretch, pulling the heel towards the floor. It's a wonderful stretch for the hamstrings, the calves, the quads. You're stretching that metatarsal arch as you draw the calcaneus bone, also known as the heel bone, towards the floor. I can feel my core engaging too. My arms are long, fingers are spread wide. That meaty part of the thumb, index finger, we have more dexterity in our hand there, more mobility. So use all that full palm to take the weight off the wrist. And take that right knee down, stretch the left heel. So now curl the toes under the left foot, stretch it back, bringing that heel towards the floor. Wow, it's so great. I can feel the metatarsals, that instep in my foot. I can spread my toes wide. Take the knee down and now stretch back with both feet into a plank pose. Or you can always modify with your heels, with your knees on the mat. Stretching both heels down towards the floor. Oh, wow, that is a great stretch. Wonderful place to feel the pelvis just hanging here. And as you pull the heels towards the floor, it's such a great cue to pull the butt down. So the buttocks are in a nice line with my shoulders. They're not sticking up. Now let's push back into a downward facing dog. You can start to walk the dog out. Again, think about your hands, because we've moved with contact with the earth. We're not used to using our shoulders to make a closed circuit like this. Our shoulders are used for mobility, but now they're used for stability. So you want to spread that weight throughout the hands to take pressure off the wrist. And now slowly walk the hands back towards the feet. You'll be in a deep forward fold. We're going to hang here in the Kriya for 3 minutes, I think. So we're not going to stay here too long, but feel your lumbar spine beginning to wake up, open up. Let the arms just hang. So you feel the shoulders just hanging. Head is hanging like a ripe piece of fruit. Feels so good. Let's do a few half morning sun salutations. Surya Namaskar A. So I inhale, sweeping my arms up like I'm greeting the morning sun or grabbing a big beach ball. Maybe my hands come together over my head or close together. I can look up at my hands. Inhale, exhale, sweep, swan dive forward. We're just going to let's do 5 of these. Inhaling up, exhaling down. I feel my spine waking up. This is the first half of the sun salutation. If we did the whole thing, we would plop down to a plank and then come up into Cobra Bhujangasana. Then back to a downward facing dog, but we're not going to do that today. We're just doing this first opening action. Feel your lumbar spine opening up. And now take the hands back down to the mat. Walk forward into a downward facing dog. We're going to set up for a low lunge for the opening of this Kriya with the pituitary gland. So inhale, sweep the back leg, that right leg up. Then on the exhale, just step it through or pick your foot up and bring it through. Drop that left knee. Top of the foot, left foot goes down on the mat. My hands are either on blocks or the fingers can be tented to the floor. You can make fists on the floor or maybe your palms all the way down. And it's safe now to let the knee extend all the way forward over the toes if that feels okay for you. This is quite a knee-centric Kriya. Next week, I will make sure we do something that's a little bit easier on the knees. So here we are. Make where it's seated. And Susie, you can drop that the left knee if you'd like. So it's a low lunge. That way you can really take this right knee extended out. And let's just do long, deep breathing now for 60 seconds. I'm looking just forward about a foot. You can feel that nice, healthy relation in the cervical spine. Long, deep breathing. Feel that diaphragm, the belly pushing out on the inhale. It pushes into the top of your quad, almost touches your adductor, that muscle that runs on the inside of the thigh. Try to make the exhale as long as the inhale. Okay, that's 1 minute. I'm going to move using my blocks now. It's easier for me. I see Margaret's got her blocks. Okay, now we're going to do breath of fire. The forced exhale through the nose. Inhale's automatic for 1 minute. Begin. Keep going. You're really exhaling out all the old stale air from the night. Inhale. Suspend the breath unless you're on moon cycle, menstrual cycle. Hold the breath, squeeze the bandhas. You get a nice squeeze of Mula Bandha right at the coccyx, anus, sex organs. Pull navel towards the spine, Uddiyana Bandha. Keep holding and release. Now curl the back toes under so you lift that back leg. Then you can lift this right leg and take the knee down so it's right in alignment with the hip. This is like a modified pigeon. We're not taking the knee out to the side. The knee is staying straight in alignment with my face. And I'm just trying to slide that left leg back long. I'm trying to come down over it. So my right chest pectoral muscles right on the top of my knee. Then maybe I can get my head. I've got my arms in Sphinx pose, palms are flat. Maybe I can get my head all the way to the mat or a blanket. I'm more comfortable if my head goes onto a blanket. Now we're going to hold this for 3 minutes, just long, deep breathing here. This is an active yin pose, so and if there's any pain or discomfort, then just slowly ease out of it. Maybe go into stretching the arms long. You're just taking the pressure off the knee. 1 minute down. The pituitary gland is part of the endocrine system. It's an endocrine gland. It's about the size of a pea. It's at the bottom of the hypothalamus at the base of the brain. So with your forehead down on the mat, you're really bringing consciousness to that where the pituitary gland is located, in the center of the head. The hormones secreted from the pituitary gland help control growth, blood pressure, energy, all functions of the sex organs, thyroid glands, and metabolism. Keep breathing long and deeply. 2 minutes now, 1 more minute. The fascia is stretching, releasing. I've stopped the blood flow to the knee and really most of the leg. So when we do release from this, it's like there's a big flush. The blood is going to rush and flush all through the leg, cleaning, removing toxins. Everybody's stable, still. Wonderful place to observe thoughts. Now slowly come up on your palms. So I've still got my knee compressed here, but I'm just kind of in a high cobra, I guess I would call it. Let's do 1 bandha work here. Inhale. Suspend the breath, squeeze the bandhas, pull that navel towards the spine, tuck the chin towards the chest, Jalandhara bandha. All 3 bandhas engaged, holding the breath, suspending the breath, and release. Now curl the back toes under, unwinding that leg. Oh my gosh, letting the blood rush in there. Walk out your dog. I'm in a downward facing dog now. It's healing itself. All that blood is flushing and cleaning. So now lift the left leg high to the ceiling. We're going to step the left leg through. Low lunge on the right side. So that right knee goes down. I'm trying to extend that left knee over the right toe, but I keep my heel on the mat. I keep my left heel on the mat. So let's go right into that minute of long, deep breathing here in this low lunge. You can experiment with your hands either in fists or palms flat down, or fingers can be tented, or you could have your hands on a block or any kind of prop that extends the arms. With blocks, it's most comfortable for me, but it depends. Each person is different. Now we're going to do 1 minute of breath of fire. Begin the forced exhale through the nose. Inhale, automatic. Inhale. Hold the breath. Suspend the breath. Squeeze the bandhas. Mula bandha, Uddiyana bandha. Dip the chin just a bit. Jalandhara bandha. Interesting place to do the bandhas with the diaphragm hanging here and release. Now curl those back toes under. I lift that back leg up. Then I can lift my left leg, coming right down on top of it. The 3 minute hold, long deep breathing, but just holding over this modified pigeon pose. My arms are in Sphinx, so forearms are just down on the mat, palms open, fingers spread wide. Then bring your head down to the mat, to a blanket, to a pillow, a block. Or maybe the head is most comfortable just on the mat, the forehead. Think about the pituitary gland. You're also can be conscious of sixth chakra, your seat of intuition, right between the eyes here. Listen for those messages, or listen to your dreams. Did you dream something last night that might have been prophetic or an intuitive message from your subconscious? Just 1 more minute. Again, you're closing off the blood supply to the knee, to the entire leg, really. So when you come back out, there's this rush and flush of new blood. It's fascinating that our heart pumps one full circuit of blood every minute throughout the body. In 24 hours, the heart pumps over 2,000 gallons of blood circulating throughout the body. Okay, draw the palms back more under the shoulders. Lengthen the arms. So I'm kind of in this high lunge pose. A nice place to practice our bandha work. So big inhale. Suspend the breath. Squeeze the bandhas in this position. We're holding that breath, suspending it for 20 seconds, creating that hypoxia to the brain. The more we practice, I'll probably start expanding that to 25 and 30 seconds. And that's 20. Release. Curl the back toes under. Lift up that back leg. It allows me to lift up the bent leg. Oh my gosh. Blood is rushing in there, cleaning and flushing. Just walk out the dog. Now slowly walk the hands back to the feet. We're going to just hang here in Uttanasana for 3 minutes. So it's a deep forward fold. It's an inversion. Your arms can just hang, head just hangs relaxed. Make sure there's a little play in your knees. We don't really ever want to lock the knees out. There's no need to do that. Your chin is right in that jugular notch. Maybe you reach up and feel that jugular notch right between the two collarbones. The chin kind of tucks in there near the sternum. This is a wonderful place to feel the shoulder blades too. 3 bones make up the shoulder blade, the shoulder girdle, the top of your humerus, the biggest bone in your arm. At the top, that connects to the scapula, the shoulder blade, which moves over the top of the rib cage. And then it connects to the clavicle, the collarbone. So those 3 bones have to move in concert for us to have the mobility of our shoulders. So as you're hanging here, you can almost feel that, sometimes I take my right hand, move your arm around, you feel that scapula, you feel that shoulder blade moving, can't you? As I'm rotating my arm, I feel it moving across the top of my rib cage. Incredible design. Okay, let's grab the ankles. I slowly grabbing my tibia and fibula on my calves, grabbing my legs, coming up over my knees, keeping my chin tucked into that jugular notch, coming up my thighs, bringing the hands to the gluteus medius, this big muscle on the side of my hips that stabilize my hip. Let the hands come down into Tadasana, standing mountain pose. We'll just keep the feet about hip width distance apart here. Come to fully standing since we've been in this deep inversion for 3 minutes. Shoulders down, relaxed. Lift the heart, that helps you pull the back of your head over the lumbar spine. You're in your perfect Tadasana. Your spine is in the alignment that it's built for. Now, 3 minutes of ego eradicator. So keep the feet grounded. Feel your stability with the heel behind the metatarsal of the big toe, behind the metatarsal of the baby toe. The cuboid bone right here midway on the lateral side of the foot between the baby toe and the calcaneus bone. Maybe that cuboid bone, you feel it coming down. Ego eradicator, my arms come up to 60 degrees. My thumbs are extended, my fingers into my palms. It's like I'm hitchhiking almost, but the thumbs are facing each other. For 3 minutes, long, deep breathing. Very stable base, but don't lock the knee out. Have a little play in your knee. Long, deep breathing. The first 2 minutes are fairly easy. The third minute, your body may begin to speak to you. Wonderful place to observe the mind. One minute, 2 minutes to go. Try to make that exhale equal length to the inhale. All the breath through the nose. One more minute. Your ego mind may begin to speak now. Everybody's staying with it. I don't see any arms coming down. And everybody's staying perfectly still, meaning you're controlling any nervous energy. Remember, we can always do more than the ego mind says we can do. Remember Survivor, when people used to have to do these kinds of challenges, and some people could hang on 3 times as long as another person. I used to think, they just have a strong sense of inner purpose, inner belief. They can go beyond their ego mind. And slowly release it down. Oh my gosh, feels so good. The shoulders can relax. Just breathe, observe. Now for 2 minutes, we're going to move into a held downward facing dog. So again, remember, the shoulders are built for mobility, but this, we're going to have the hands down on the mat in downward facing dog. So the shoulders become a stability force. So it's really important that you use the entire palm of your hand to support yourself. So just bend over, walk forward on your hands, and you'll be right in downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Kundalini Yoga calls this triangle pose. I'm not sure why. You can walk out your dog. We're here for 2 minutes. Be conscious. I'm going to observe you. Be conscious of your hand placement. Are you using the entire palm? There's more dexterity in the thumb and index finger. So make sure that's really engaged. And all fingers to help take weight off the wrist. You can look down and see your opposing thumb. We're the only creature in the animal kingdom that has opposing thumbs. Gives us tremendous dexterity. One minute, just one more minute to go. Compliment yourself. Beginners, it's hard for a beginner to hold a down dog more than a minute. It takes a lot of strength, stamina. Are you finding that your fascias releasing and maybe the heels are coming closer to the floor? Your dogs all look really strong. Keep in mind you can experiment with your dog. Maybe you take your feet a little bit closer to your hands, or maybe you step them farther away. My feet tend to line up right behind my hips. They're in alignment with my hips. And you've done it. Come down to your knees and then come right onto your stomach. Your hands are at your side, palms to the ceiling. Take the left cheek to the mat. You're just resting here for 1 minute with that left cheek on your mat. Let everything go. You don't even have to think about your breath. Your autonomic nervous system will just breathe for you. Now slowly just rotate your head so the right cheek is on the mat. You're stretching out the fascia in your neck. As you inhale, you can feel your diaphragm pushing down, your stomach expanding into your mat. Maybe you help the air escape by pulling the diaphragm, pulling the navel towards the spine. You're helping push the air out. Now bring your forehead to the mat. Draw the palms right under the shoulders. My feet are touching. My big toes are touching. My heels are touching. I'm in cobra pose, the tail of the snake here. Now low cobra, I keep the elbows in tight to my side body. We don't want to ever have the elbows flaying out. We want them close to the side body. I'm just lifting my head up a couple of inches. I'm looking straight down at the mat. My hands are still touching the mat. I can lift the hands off just hovering. That's your low cobra. You feel it in your lower lumbar spine, right? You're accenting that lordosis. Now you can come into Sphinx pose here. So the forearm comes onto the mat, a little deeper stretch in the lumbar spine. You feel that lordosis, right? Or you can come all the way up into high cobra. More stretch in the lower lumbar spine. You select what feels best for you. Or you can do a combination. We're just going to be doing some nice, easy head turns. Inhaling left, exhaling right. So you can do this in high cobra, you could do it in Sphinx, you can do it in low cobra, or combinations thereof. Just 2 minutes of these slow head turns. Inhaling left, exhaling right. If you're in high cobra, just make sure the elbows are in close, tight to the side body, that they're not, we don't want them sticking out like that. We want them close to the body. You might hear a snap, crackle, pop. That's normal in the neck. Should not be any pain or discomfort. You're just gently moving. We lose this flexibility as we age, so it's so important to keep up with it. Okay, come back to center. Big inhale, suspend the breath, hold the breath, 20 seconds. The pelvis is just hanging here. Interesting place to hold the breath, squeeze the bandhas. And release. Sit back in a wide-legged seat, wide-kneed set. So I'm sitting on my hips, my knees are wide. So this is called full flower bowing. So for 2 minutes. So my hands are, there's no real mudra, it's just spread hands open wide. So inhale up, hands at 60 degrees, legs at 60 degrees. You see that nice kind of uniform figure here. Inhale, exhale, I bring the palms to the mat and my head to the mat and my lumbars. Try to get my seat towards my heels. Inhale up, exhale down, 2 minutes. I'm feeling this in my lower lumbar spine today. So that means I'll be cautious. I'll breathe into my spine wherever I'm feeling a little resistance. You're conscious of your pituitary gland, sixth chakra, every time that forehead comes and touches the mat. One more minute. Use the whole time going up to inhale and the whole time going down for your exhale. Just 20 more seconds. Inhale, come up. Stretch the arms up. My fingers are spread wide. Big inhale and suspend the breath 20 seconds. Bandhas kind of naturally squeeze here. They need to squeeze to support the pelvis. And release. Bring the knees together now. This is Yoga Mudra. So my forehead is just going to go down to the mat. I interlace my fingers in Venus Mudra behind me, and then I'm going to lift my shoulders up. I go for 12 o'clock. My head doesn't come to the mat easily here, so I like to have it rest on a blanket. You could rest on a block, a pillow. We're just going to breathe long and deeply here. We'll only hold this 1 minute. So then draw the arms up. If you have a lot of flexibility in your shoulders, be cautious. Some people have very loose ligaments in their shoulders. They're able to bring their arms up easily to 12 o'clock. They have to be cautious that they don't overstretch. But most of us, it's a challenge to get our elbows up. The hyperextension of the shoulder socket. If we did this from childhood on, we'd easily be able to do it, but we weren't practicing yoga like this when we were 12 years old. And that's 1 minute. Slowly come down. Now come into Vajrasana, rock pose. That was the end of the Kriya for the pituitary. We ended with the head once again being conscious on the mat. Now 2 minutes of breath work right here. My hands are just closed circuit. They're resting on my thighs. My shoulders are down relaxed, lifting my heart, helps bring my spine into that nice alignment. Long, deep breathing. Focus on the Apana breath, that grounding breath. So as you inhale through the nose, feel it fill the pelvic floor. Imagine that everything, say below the rib cage, this whole section below is just filling, gorging with air. You're breathing into every available space. It grounds you down to the earth. On the exhale, feel it passing, coming up through the heart and lungs, prana, into the throat, udana, and out, vayana. It's surrounding you then. You're honoring your life force. We're not taking it for granted. We're given another breath. Okay, this next pose is similar to the last one where we were going up and down. This one, my palms are to the ceiling. I'm in a T pose. I'm going to rise up for 6 counts. I'm going to hold for 12 counts. Hold the breath for 12 counts when I'm up, then down for 6. So we'll do this for 2 minutes. So let's begin. I'll count the first few times off. I'll count it for us. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Suspend the breath. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's your pattern. Bandhas have to engage when you're holding the breath. The knees are close together, so everything's engaged. You have to use the quads and the hamstrings to slowly come down and slowly come up. You have to use the core to come up. 1 minute. We'll do 1 more minute. A lot of control in the legs and the core to do this. You're creating a little hypoxia with these 12-second holds. Do them at your own pace. Last time, slowly come down. Take the hands, close circuit on the knees. Thighs, just observe. Close your eyes. "55 minutes into the practice. How do you feel?" Something keeps bringing you back to your mat. Now lie on your backs. We're going to work a little more core here. 2 minutes of the piston push-pull piston. We've all done this many times. Back of the head on the mat. I draw my forearms under my buttocks, and then my wrists are kind of under my hamstrings, so I'm protecting the lumbar spine. And then inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. It's like you're a machine. Great workout for the core. You're lubricating the hips. Synovial fluid, that WD-40 is moving through the knees, ankles, hips. The second minute, it gets harder. If your legs are starting to burn, that's good. Let's do 10 more seconds. We can do it. And release. Just let everything go. Relax. Keep the arms there underneath your buttocks. You're going to bring your legs up to 90 degrees. Now, I find this challenging. The cue is to hold the breath for 30 seconds, but that's a long time to hold when you're being energetic. So we'll take a big inhale, just hold as long as you can, then exhale, and you can lower your legs. Big inhale. And hold. And release. One more core exercise. You can keep your forearms under your belly. We're really working on where the Apana lives, here in the core, the lower pelvic region. So lift the legs up about 6 inches, and for 30 seconds, we'll do breath of fire. Begin. And release, take it down. Now just roll over onto your stomach. And this is a modified stretch pose. So I'm on my stomach like I'm in cobra pose. I interlace my fingers like the yoga mudra, the Venus mudra. So the 10 fingers are interlaced behind me. My forehead's on the mat. So when we're ready to go, I'm just going to lift my shoulders up. My eyes will be closed. And I'm going to go up and down. So come, inhale, lift the shoulders, the arms come up, the feet stay on the mat. And let's inhale and hold the breath. Hold. And release, forehead to the mat. Arms can come down, rest for a moment. We're going to do this 5 times. Okay, when you come up on your inhale, then you'll hold. Inhale and hold. Neck is long, doesn't have to be, you don't have to bring the neck forward. You want a nice, safe cervical spine. And release. Inhale. Yes, and hold. Bandhas naturally engage. And release. Take the forehead back, arms can come down. 2 more times. Inhale and lift and hold. Everybody looks strong. You're doing it. And release. Last time, let the head come down. This time we're going to try to go for 30 seconds. Big inhale and hold. Feet can stay on the mat, just lifting the arm and the shoulders. You're almost there. And release. Just roll over onto your back. This is a wonderful place to practice breath of fire. So the arms come up, they're just hip width distance apart, my hands, my fingers are spread open wide. So it's like I'm reaching up to the ceiling. Do that a couple of times. You feel that shoulder blade, how the ball and socket really work. As my fingers come towards the ceiling, you feel it extending out of that shoulder girdle. Everything's having to move. The scapula, the collarbones, the ball and socket joint. Just keep doing it. Stretching them up. You feel the whole shoulder girdle working, how it works for mobility. Okay, once they're up and stretched, we're going to practice breath of fire for 1 minute. Breath of fire is great here because you naturally breathe properly on your back. So let's begin. That forced exhale through the nose. Inhale's automatic through the nose. Keep going. You're pushing any remaining stale air, you're getting rid of it. Inhale, make fists, and then squeeze every part of your body and pull those fists slowly towards the chest. When it hits the chest, relax everything. Then inhale back up. This time when you're making the fists, make a face, hold the breath, big inhale, squeeze everything, flex the feet, squeeze, pull all the leg muscles, the core, the chest. I'm making big faces, bringing those fists down to my pectorals. Oh, one last time. It's called a full body mudra. Inhale up. Make the fists, flex the feet, squeeze the buttocks, core, chest, everything, pull it down, and release. And you're ready for your Shavasana. 8 minutes. Let everything go. Nothing you need to do. Surrender to the mat. Chip Conley from Modern Elder Academy has a wonderful reading today called Unfinished Business. The box of unlived life. Consider that we all have a box of unlived life. It's almost like a time capsule from the future that we're meant to open later in life. Perhaps that unlived life got stunned earlier in your life. Or maybe you had a better sense of your purpose younger in life than you do today. The question to ask yourself is this: how can you help yourself explore that box of unlived or unloved life waiting to be opened? And once you grasp whatever it is that feels unlived or unloved, ask yourself how you might invest in this so it can feel more loved and central to your life. How can you turn a potential future regret into an opportunity by shifting your mindset, by focusing on that which hasn't been given proper attention? Chip Conley. blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so Begin to breathe together, inhaling through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale, ah. Add that audible sigh for the parasympathetic nervous system. Inhale and exhale, ah. One more inhale, ah. Make some rounds of the ankles and the wrists, really feeling that marvelous dexterity in the hands, the phalanges, the fingers, the toes. Point the toes, take the arms over the head, stretch them long, interlace the fingers. Really stretch out the spine, grab the left wrist with the right hand and pull that left arm up, extend it out of the socket. Then grab the other wrist, pull the other arm, the other shoulder, really engaging it, stretching it. Harvey Deutsch calls it flossing the nerves. Since nerves don't stretch, they can only be moved in the tissues. They don't stretch. Draw the knees towards the forehead towards the knees. Compressing the spine now. Then you could move into some spinal rolls or spinal twists, whatever your body feels it needs. Then maybe, oh gosh, happy baby, or Janet's doing a modified pigeon pose. Rod is too. He's doing a pigeon pose with a spinal twist combined. That's interesting. You can also take the soles of the feet together in a Baddha Konasana. It's a great hip opener, and the legs can be off the floor, or they can be the feet can be close to the pelvis on the mat. Either way, it opens the hips. Child's pose. You all have stretched out calves and hamstrings now, so you tend to go into full extended leg child poses. Or maybe you just do a child's pose where you come forward, resting the forehead on the mat, letting everything go. Then slowly, whenever you're ready, make your way back up to the seated position. Bringing our hands to prayer. We honor each person in the virtual space. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Rodney. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Medea. Thank you, Pablo. Thank you, Roberta. Thank you, Margaret. And if you're joining us at a later date, honor yourself for making the time to be on your mat, connecting your body, your mind, your spirit. We close with the longtime sun. Please sing with me. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on, guide your way on. Satnam, Satnam, Satnam. We bow to each other and we say Satnam.